Alright, hey, what's going on YouTube? This is Keith with Less Magic More Gathering, and this week we are doing our random card deck tech on a Twitter chosen Phylactery Lich. 3-drop, 5/5, indestructible. When it enters the battlefield, you put a Phylactery counter on an artifact you control, and then when you control no permanents with Phylactery counters, sacrifice Phylactery Lich. So, first some administrative things. If you take a look right down there, you'll see our Twitter handle. Please check us out and follow us on Twitter. We would definitely appreciate it. And then I'm also going to jump into looking at a couple of other YouTube channels that I would like you to take a look at if you get a chance. First one here is MTG YoungMage. This young man is getting an early start into YouTube content creation. I know he has gotten a lot of experience by going out and doing stuff at GPs and things like that, and the videos are up. So take a look. There's a link in the description down there for all these channels, but take a look at MTG YoungMage. It's really impressive how well he's doing at such a young age, so I'm sure that you will appreciate that. The next one here is from the Great White North, MTGCanuck. This guy is going to be doing a lot of pack openings. He also does some finance stuff, which I can't really get my head around, so I'm not even going to bother trying. But you know, he's worth taking a look at, especially if you want to get a good perspective on some of the finance stuff. I really appreciate his opinion on most things. So take a look at MTGCanuck, click that link down there, and make sure you give him a subscribe too. And finally, for this week, we've got MTG Vintage Crack. Now, according to their YouTube, it says that they're focused on sealed product opening, which there are a lot of sealed product opening videos. I've also taken a look, and they've got some gameplay videos on there too, so make sure you check them out. It's a couple, and they work really well together, and I think that you will appreciate all three of these channels. If you give them the time, go check them out, see what they're all about, give them subscribes. If you haven't subscribed to our channel, please go down, press that subscribe button, turn on the notifications so that you'll see when we post new stuff. So let's get onto the deck now. Okay, we're just going to jump right into it here. No reason to mess around, right? We're going to start out with our creatures, working our way up from 1-drops to 5-drops, but we'll get there. We'll get there. Just calm the heck down. All right. First, we've got 4 copies of the Diregraph Ghoul. So Diregraph Ghoul is a very simple 1-drop, 2/2, enters the battlefield tapped. So it's not super aggressive, and it doesn't do you any good on blocking for turn 1, so but it is a good creature. It's got the 2 toughness, so it won't die to Goblin Chain Whirler or any of the other dinosaur effects that do 1 damage to all the creatures. So that's good. I kind of contradict myself with this next creature, though, because it's only got 1 toughness, but bear with me, bear with me. Next one is a 2-drop, 2/1 with Prowess and Afflict 2. So when we cast some of these non-creature spells that we've got in our deck, this thing's going to get bigger. The Prowess is not a huge benefit in this deck, and neither is the Afflict really, but this is just a good 2-drop zombie creature that we could throw in here so that we would have good curve. So 2-drop, 2/1, Prowess, and Afflict 2. Next, we're going to move on to 3-drops. The one thing about this deck you'll notice is it is heavy on 3-drops. So if you wanted to make some changes to you know, smooth the curve out a little bit so that you don't have this spike at 3, that's probably okay. You could get away with doing that. But the way we built it, we've got a lot of 3-drops. So we've put in 25 lands in this deck, so hopefully we can manage to hit all these 3-drops, not necessarily in any particular order, but they're all kind of good to have in the deck. So the first one here is a blue and 2 others. It's a 1/3 with Afflict 2, and whenever it attacks and isn't blocked, you draw a card. So things like your fog decks and stuff like that, they will not affect that ability. It doesn't have to do damage. All it has to do is attack and not be blocked, and you get to draw a card. So it can provide a little bit of card advantage for you, and it's also a decent body out there. Our next 3-drop is 4 copies of Death Baron. Death Baron is going to give us that Lord for zombies, so all of our zombies are going to get +1/+1, and they get Death Touch. So we got a 2/2 for 3 that gives all of our other creatures in this deck, except one, +1/+1 and Death Touch. So the Lords, most of them recently have been 2-drops, but this one's the 3-drop, but then it's going to give Death Touch along with that +1/+1 ability. So definitely worth it. Definitely a good card, especially with all the zombies we've got in the deck. Once you get a Death Baron out there, you don't have to worry about any of your zombies dying anymore to things like the Goblin Chain Whirler. I know that's still a thing, so good card, good card. Next, we've got the namesake of the deck, 4 copies of Phylactery Lich. We would like to have as many of these out as possible, because the more we put out, the more Phylactery Liches we can have out, and the more artifacts our opponents are going to have to destroy before they can get rid of all of our Phylactery Liches. So we went with 4 full copies. And the one creature that is not a zombie that I was talking about is 1 copy of the Scarab God. The Scarab God gets a lot of benefit from all these zombies that we do have in the deck, though. At the beginning of your upkeep, your opponents are going to lose X life. You scry X, where X is the number of zombies you control. So you can get in some extra damage there, and you can also get that scry ability. If you don't already have what you need, you can really use that to your advantage to get to some extra stuff. And it's hard to get rid of the Scarab God. He's got to be exiled, otherwise he's just going to go back to your hand. So good creature. That's our 20 creatures for the deck. Now on to our artifacts. We're going to run 4 copies of Azor's Gateway. Now, it is a legendary, so we can only have one of these out at a time. And we're not running a ton of artifacts in this deck. I know that that may hinder us sometimes, not being able to get out of Phylactery Lich because we don't have an artifact yet. But we didn't want to go nuts with the artifact, so hopefully we can use our other zombies to keep ourselves alive until we can get there. Azor's Gateway, once we do get it out, it's only a 2-drop, and then you pay 1 and tap it to draw a card, and then you exile a card from your hand, and we're not going to bother reading the rest of this because it is not possible to flip this in this deck, I don't think. Let's see, we've got 1, 2, 3, oh yeah it is. We've got 1, 2, 3, and 5 drops, and we can exile a land, which would count as a 0. So it's possible to flip, but in the testing that I did, I never flipped it. So, because our 1 5-drop is the Scarab God, and we're never going to exile that. We always want to play that card. So, this will never flip for you. So, you're essentially just going to be able to do some looting, get through your deck, get to what you want, and keep yourself alive, hopefully. Use those cards to your advantage. That's why it's called Card Advantage! Hey! Okay, anyway. Our next artifact here is 3 copies of Forebearer's Blade. Forebearer's Blade is a 3-drop equipment, so you can get this out and just let it sit there if you need to. If there's nothing to attach it to, feel free to just let it sit there. No big deal. Whatever creature you do attach it to gets +3, +0, Vigilance, and Trample. So all of your Death Touch creatures that you're going to have from Death Baron, things like that, they only have to do 1 point of damage to each of your opponent's creatures, and the rest of that's going to trample through. So that's nice. The other nice thing about this is whenever the equipped creature does die, you automatically get to reattach your Forebearer's Blade to another creature you control. So as long as you've got creatures out, you don't have to pay that equip cost anymore. Those are our 7 artifacts for the deck, and like I said, in testing I had pretty good luck. About probably 50 to 60% of the time I had an artifact in my opening hand, so that's good. I mean, it worked out well. It worked out okay. It worked out better than what you might think. So it works okay. Sometimes you do end up holding your Phylactery Lich longer than you would probably like, but the other zombies are able to keep your head above water until you get there. So we've only got those 7 artifacts. Now, We do have 3 copies of the Cartouche of Knowledge. This is going to give one of your creatures +1/+1 and flying. More importantly, I feel, when it comes into play, you get to draw a card. So you're getting a lot of advantage for that 2 mana that you're spending. And we've got 2 copies of Curator's Ward. Nice thing about Curator's Ward is you can put this on any of your artifacts that have Phylactery counters on them, and they become hex-proof. If you put this on Azor's Gateway, and they do find a way to get rid of your Azor's Gateway, when it leaves the battlefield, you get to draw 2 cards. So it's a good card. It's nice to have. And if you happen to end up with both of them, put one of them on an Azor's Gateway and the other one on a Scarab God, you're set. And the final card in the deck, 3 copies of Dive Down. This is just a cheap way to protect your creatures because sometimes things are going to happen and you're just going to have to dive down. You know, we don't have any removal in this deck except for, giving our creatures that Death Touch ability, things like that. So sometimes being able to give them that extra defense and the hexproof ability will save your creatures and act as a form of removal when your opponents may think that they're getting rid of your creatures. So that's the final spell in the deck. Now our land base, we have 9 islands. Very simple land base. We always keep things very simple with the lands. We know that depending on your meta, you may need to work around with some different lands that are going to help you with getting rid of, flipped over Legion's Landings or other lands like that, or you may need to be able to take care of some graveyard abilities with your lands. So we understand that sometimes some of these lands are going to need to be switched out for non-basics, but we've got 9 islands, 12 swamps, and we've also got 4 copies of Drowned Catacomb. And that is the deck. Hope you enjoyed it. If you have any suggestions on major changes that you would make, let us know down there in that comment section below. Hey, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give it a like, subscribe to the channel. We'll see you next time. Deuces! Hey, thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, go down below and find that subscribe button. Press it and the notification bell so that you'll know when we post new videos. If you've got some feedback, follow that arrow to the comment section and let us know what you think. See you next time.